Chris Evert is an American former world number 1 tennis player. Evert won 18 major singles titles including a record 7 French Open titles and a joint record 6 US Open titles. Evert was born in 1954 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida to Colette and Jimmy Evert and raised in a committed Catholic household. She is a 1973 graduate of St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale. Evert's father was a professional tennis coach and tennis was a way of life in his family. Chris and her sister Jean became professional tennis players. Their brother John played tennis on scholarship at the University of Alabama and later at Vanderbilt University, and brother Drew had a tennis scholarship to Auburn University. Youngest sister Claire played scholarship tennis at Southern Methodist University. Chris, John and sisters Jean and Claire all won titles at the prestigious Junior Orange Bowl in Florida. Evert began taking tennis lessons from her father Jimmy Evert when she was 5 years old. He was a professional tennis coach who had won the men's singles title at the Canadian Championships in 1947. Before she won her first Grand Slam event, Evert signed a contract with Puritan Fashions to endorse a line of sports wear. Company president Carl Rosen thought so highly of her that he named a yearling racehorse in her honor. The horse Chris Evert went on to win the 1974 U.S. Filly Triple Crown, be voted the Eclipse Award for Outstanding 3-year-old filly, and was inducted into the National Museum for Racing and Hall of Fame. On June 28, 2008, Evert married her third husband, Australian golfer Greg Norman, in the Bahamas. On October 2, 2009, they announced they were separating after 15 months. Their divorce became final on December 8, 2009. In 2021, Evert became a supporter of the new Women's Sports Policy Working Group formed in opposition to President Joe Biden's executive order that mandates blanket inclusion for all transgender female athletes. She was awarded the Philip Chartier Award and inducted into the Hall of Fame. In later life, Evert was a coach and is now an analyst for ESPN and has a line of tennis and active apparel. Evert contested 34 major singles finals, a record for women's tennis. In singles, Evert reached the semi-finals or better in 52 of the 56 majors she played, including at 34 consecutive majors entered from the 1971 US Open through the 1983 French Open. She never lost in the first or second round of a major and lost in the third round only twice. Evert holds the record of most consecutive years, 13, of winning at least one major title. Evert's career winning percentage in singles matches of 89.97% is the second highest in the Open era for men or women. On clay courts, Evert's career winning percentage in singles matches of 94.55%, 382 to 22 remains a WTA Tour record. She also won 3 major doubles titles, 2 partnering Navratilova and 1 partnering Olga Morozova. Evert was a baseline player who is credited with revolutionizing the sport of tennis. Evert won at least one Grand Slam singles title a year for 13 consecutive years from 1974 through 1986. During this period, Evert did not participate in the Australian Opens held from 1975 to 1980 and in 1983 or the French Opens from 1976 to 1978. The reasons for Evert's non-participation in the Australian Open during the years of her greatest dominance was the relative decline in the stature of this Grand Slam tournament during that period. Evert's absence from the French Open in 1976, 1977 and 1978 reflected the allure of world team tennis and the generally lesser significance that the top players attached to the traditional slam events in the early years of the professional era.